Okay, let's get right into it. What actually happens inside you when you have a drink? We're about to take a deep dive, a biological journey through one single night of drinking. We'll follow it from that first buzzy sip all the way to the morning after misery. You're about to see a pretty dramatic story unfold. And the wild part is, it's all happening inside your own body.
I mean, we all know the feeling, right? That initial wave of fun, the good times, and then, well, the not so good times that can follow. But what's the science behind that? What are the specific chemical dominoes that have to fall to create that roller coaster ride? That's the journey we're going on right now.
So, to really see this in action, let's follow a guy. We'll call him Elias. He's just landed a massive contract at work, and he's out with friends to celebrate. He orders that first drink, and believe it or not, the second it touches his lips, a massive biological chain reaction kicks off.
So, how does alcohol even get into our system in the first place? Well, it's not exactly a polite entry. It's more like a full-on invasion. And alcohol, it turns out, has the perfect disguise to slip right past our body's toughest defenses. It's a biological Trojan horse.
It all boils down to this one tiny molecule, ethanol. I mean, look at it. It doesn't seem like much, but it has this superpower. One part of it loves water, and the other part loves fat. This means it can pass through the water in our blood and also slip right through the fatty membranes of our cells. It's basically an all-access pass to every single part of your body.
And here's the crazy part, the speed. Now, Elias hasn't eaten much, so that drink doesn't hang out in his stomach. It goes right into his small intestine, which, with all its folds, acts like a giant sponge, just soaking it up. Within just 5 minutes of that first celebratory sip, the ethanol is in his bloodstream and making a beeline for his brain. All right, so it's in the bloodstream. Now for the main event, the brain. Once this little molecule gets there, it starts its real work. You could say it's like a master chemist, completely hijacking our brain wiring to re-engineer how we feel. The second ethanol crosses the blood-brain barrier, it makes a beeline for the brain's reward system. It's like flipping a switch that unleashes a flood of dopamine and endorphins. For Elias, this is what we'd call the golden hour. He's feeling confident, he's happy, he's sociable. Even that chronic back pain he has seems to have just vanished. At a blood alcohol concentration of right around 0.04%, Elias has hit the absolute sweet spot. The euphoria is high, but the impairment is still really low. This is that perfect buzz everyone chases on a night out. But, as you're about to see, it's an incredibly fine line to walk. Now, to understand what happens next, you gotta understand your brain's normal operating system. The easiest way is to think of it like a car. You've got glutamate, which is your gas pedal. It keeps your thoughts sharp and fast. And then you have GABA, which is your brake pedal. It calms everything down and reduces anxiety. Normally, these two are in perfect balance. Alcohol comes in like a neurological sledgehammer. It's not a precision tool. It physically blocks your gas pedal, which is why thoughts get slower and reaction times lag. And, at the exact same time, it slams its foot on the brake pedal, supercharging your GABA system. So yeah, your anxiety melts away, but so does your impulse control and your ability to make sharp decisions. Elias is having a great time, so he has another drink. And now, the party isn't just in his brain anymore. The effects are starting to cascade through his entire body, creating system-wide chaos and some pretty dangerous illusions. You ever wonder why you have to go to the bathroom so much when you're drinking? Well, here's why. Alcohol actually suppresses a hormone called vasopressin. Think of vasopressin as the manager that tells your kidneys, hey, hold on to some water. When alcohol shows up, that manager basically goes on break. The kidneys just open the floodgates, flushing water out of your system, and they'll pull it from anywhere, including the fluid that surrounds your brain. And what about that warm, flushed feeling you get? The whiskey blanket? Well, spoiler alert, it is a complete trick. Alcohol relaxes the blood vessels near the surface of your skin, which makes you feel warm because all the blood is rushing there. But in reality, you're radiating heat away from your core, causing your actual body temperature to drop. It's a really dangerous illusion. Okay, it's time to talk about the real hero, and maybe the biggest victim of this whole story, the liver. Right now, it is working frantically to clean up this poison. But here's the twist. In the process of cleaning it up, the liver actually creates something far, far more dangerous. So here's how it works. The liver uses an enzyme to start breaking down the ethanol, but the first byproduct it creates is a nasty compound called acetaldehyde. Now, another enzyme is supposed to swoop in and neutralize it right away, but the liver can only work so fast.
As Elias keeps drinking, this toxic stuff starts to build up, overwhelming the system. And let me be clear, the real villain of the hangover story isn't actually the alcohol, it's this stuff, acetaldehyde. If ethanol was a sledgehammer to the brain, this stuff is like a razor blade to your cells. It's a known carcinogen, it damages your DNA, and it kicks off a massive inflammatory response throughout your entire body. This buildup of acetaldehyde basically puts your body on red alert. Your immune system freaks out and releases these inflammatory proteins called cytokines. And these are the exact same things your body releases when you have the flu. It's why you feel so achy and miserable. At the same time, your stomach lining gets inflamed, and even the bacteria in your gut are thrown into chaos, which releases even more toxins. It's a full-blown internal storm.
And now, it's the morning after. The party is definitely over, and the biological bill has come due. Let's connect the dots and see exactly how everything that happened last night leads directly to the exquisite pain of a hangover.
Elias might have passed out for a few hours, but he didn't really sleep. See, alcohol sedates you, but it blocks the deep, restorative REM sleep your brain desperately needs. Then, as the alcohol starts to wear off, the brain violently rebounds. All those calming GABA systems go offline, and the excitatory glutamate systems come roaring back to life. That's what causes that jolt awake at 3 a.m., heart pounding, filled with a sense of dread. You've probably heard the term for it, hangxiety. So when you break it down, every single hangover symptom is a direct consequence of the chaos from the night before. That throbbing headache, your brain is literally physically shrunken from dehydration. The crippling fatigue, that's a huge blood sugar crash. The nausea and that awful anxiety, that's the toxic acetaldehyde in your brain's chemical rebound all hitting you at once.
Look, a hangover fades in a day or two, but when nights like the one Elias just had become a regular thing, the damage starts to stick around. It begins to leave permanent scars on the body's most vital organs. Every single process we just talked about has a long-term consequence. That overworked liver, over time, it can become fatty, then inflamed, and eventually irreversibly scarred. The heart and cardiovascular system get strained, leading to high blood pressure. And the brain itself can physically shrink, while its dopamine reward system gets so hijacked that it becomes harder and harder to feel pleasure from anything else.
If there's one big takeaway from all this, it's probably this. Our bodies are amazingly resilient, but they are also perfect record keepers. Every night of drinking, every biological storm, it all gets recorded in a quiet, unforgiving ledger. Now look, this isn't about judgment. It's just about understanding the incredible biological story that unfolds inside us with every choice we make. Knowing what's actually happening from the first sip to the last gives us the power to be more conscious. So really, the only question left to ask yourself is, what story do you want your body to tell?
Please like and subscribe.